Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. And in this video, we're going to be talking about how you can get free money. Yes, that's right, free money in the form of free cryptocurrency of some amazing, amazing projects that are coming online.
Take the first step towards online privacy. Get NordVPN.
Apollo have produced the ultimate hardware wallet for your cryptocurrency assets, probably the most secure hardware wallet going. Use my affiliate link and the code for a discount. Please follow me on Twitter and join my official Telegram announcements channel. Also, please follow me on bittube.video. You can also follow me on Odyssey. These are both censorship-resistant platforms, and every now and then I am going to post a video which isn't going to be on YouTube.
Thank you for having me once again, Rich. It's great to be here.
You are,
and
so
I'm really eager to talk about crowd loans.
You are, because in our first video, I had to stop you because the passion was just bursting out, right? I was like, wait a minute. Too much passion. Because on your channel, which you've been running since April 2018, you focus in particular on Polkadot and Kusama ecosystem projects. And we did a video, which will be on my channel, so you can check that out, where we talked about Polkadot and Kusama, because I hold Polkadot. I don't know much about it. I've heard it's really, really good, but you go into the details, what makes it so special. So that's the prelude to this video. So I do invite people to go and watch that video to get a bit of a foundation. And you should take it away, because we're going to be talking about Polkadot and Kusama and how people can get more crypto via holding Polkadot or Kusama. Is that right?
Absolutely. So like we spoke in the last video, we all know now that Kusama is the canary network or the experimental network of Polkadot. It's basically a mirror copy of Polkadot, except it's cheaper to build on, and things happen on Kusama first, right? It's not going to happen on Polkadot. Nothing has happened on Polkadot yet. They're still in development. They're still testing some bugs, fixing some bugs from Kusama before they're going to say, okay, now we're ready to go live on Polkadot. So we were talking about parachains in the initial video, right? So we have to know that these parachains, in order to become parachains, need to go through what are called crowd loans. So what happens? These crowd loans basically means that a specific project has an idea, they want to build something and they want to raise funds. However, they're not actually seeing these funds. That's the beauty of it. And it seems a bit strange because you could think of it like as an ICO, right? Initial coin offering. But in this case, you could think of an ICO as an initial crowd loan offering. And I like to joke to say that Kusama is the ICO coin of 2021.
Right.
And I think Polkadot is also going to be the ICO coin of 2021. So both of these are going to be the ICO coin of 2021.
Okay. And how does it work? Is it just like an airdrop, but with a fancy name?
Yes. So if a project wants to develop on Kusama, they need to first create the project, right? So they need to have a working blockchain, and they cannot be a parachain, right? Because they need to win a parachain auction. We've got what are called a parachain auction. So they're going to become, they're going to test their project, whatever, right? They're going to be on the live network, but they're going to be a parathread. So once they're ready as a parathread, they say, okay, now we're ready to conduct a crowd loan in order to become a parachain, to upgrade to a parachain. You need to upgrade. You cannot become a parachain without upgrading from a parathread. So to upgrade, the blockage is that you need to win a parachain auction. So this is where the beauty comes into play. Think of these parachain auctions like crowd sales, except you're not losing your funds, you're loaning your funds. So here's where the Kusama coin comes into play. Now let's say on a specific date organized by the Kusama devs, the crowd loans begin. So what happens is they say, okay, you guys have maybe a week to kick off these crowd loans before the parachain auctions begin. Because once the parachain auctions begin, then the timer starts. So we're going to talk about that a bit later. But to kick off the stuff with the crowd loans. So let's say on a specific date, people are going to start their crowd loans. Let's say Project A decides to kick off a crowd loan. What actually happens? Well, they create a website, be it through the wallet or be it through their website or be it through a mobile wallet, where people can contribute their Kusama for this specific project by locking it up. And then they are guaranteed a minimum amount of tokens from this project should they win the auction, which will come later, right? We'll talk about that. However, you're guaranteed a minimum amount, but you could get more, right? It all depends on how many Kusama get contributed in total to this specific project, right? Now, what's beautiful about this is that these projects have a cap, right? So let's say we had the Karura in the first batch back in June of this year. which was the very first crowd loan to kick off on Kusama. And Karura is a DeFi project, right, on Kusama. And what they did is they said, okay, guys, we've created a website, we've kicked off the crowd loan. If you use our website to contribute using the Polkadot wallet, you will get an early bird bonus of 10%, and you also get a referral bonus of 5%. So basically, if you or your friend decide to contribute, if a friend contributes using a referral link, you also get a 5% bonus, and then your friend gets a 5% bonus plus the early bird bonus, aside from the base reward, which was the guaranteed reward. Now, how do they calculate the base reward? Well, they have a set amount of tokens, right? You have let's say, for example, they plan to create 100 million tokens, and this is the case for Karura. But they have a set amount, such as say 15 million or 8 million, which are allocated only to the crowd loans, okay? And then they have a max cap of the number of Kusama that they'll accept. It's such a large cap that it's pretty much guaranteed that if you take part in this crowd loan, even if it's not in the first day, even if it's in the second or the third or the fourth day, you're still guaranteed to get some tokens, right? However, if that cap is reached, then it's game over, right? But it's very unlikely because Karura had a cap of 500,000 Kusama. So, no, sorry, they had a cap of 1 million Kusama. So that is absolutely humongous. But a lot of people contributed Kusama to Karura because there was so much hype with the early bird bonus that over 500,000 Kusama had been locked up. Now, when we say locked up, you basically lock them up for the duration of the lease of these guys, should they win the Parachain auction, the lease of their Parachain, because we discussed about limitations on the Parachains. You cannot have a Parachain for more than a specific amount of time. On Kusama, it's 48 weeks, which is around 11 months. And on Polkadot, it's going to be up to 2 years. Okay, on Kusama, there's no minimum, and the maximum is 48 weeks, the minimum is 48 weeks. You have to do it for 48 weeks, right? On Kusama, you cannot do it for less. So, but on Polkadot, you can switch between 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, or 24 months. And then based on that, the distribution changes, but we'll talk about that later when we switch to how the Parachain auctions work. But anyway, the lease is 48 weeks. Okay, so now you know, Rich, that we had a specific amount of allocated tokens, Karura tokens, for this crowd loan, and then you have a max cap. So based on that calculation, they divide the maximum amount contributed by the maximum amount, the maximum amount that they could allocate to the crowd loan divided by the maximum amount of Kusama contributed, and then you get the minimum amount of Karura tokens that you're guaranteed to receive before the max cap is reached. In the case the max cap was not reached, so you are getting a guaranteed of 19.5 KEOR for each 1 KSM. Now, what's beautiful is that on a specific date, when again, this isn't the only crowd loan, this was just one crowd loan. Then you had a second crowd loan called something else. They also gave us the option to contribute through their website or through a wallet or through the mobile, right? Even exchanges are supporting it, right? There are a number of exchanges that are supporting it. But let's talk about the beautiful part. So when the Parachain auctions begin on a specific date, then a timer begins. And what happens is you've got a range of projects who all had Kusama contributed towards for the crowd loan. And some of these projects had more Kusama contributed towards than others. So for example, Karura had 500,000, Moonriver had around 200,000, Shaidan had around 100,000. But because Karura had 500,000 with the most amount, they were winning every single block from the auction when the auction kicked off on this specific date, right? Because you could still contribute to the crowd loans, which is awesome, even though the auction had started. These auctions run for 7 days straight. However, this is where it gets a bit complicated and more technical. They run for 7 days straight, but the first 2 days of the auction are the most important because 100% of the blocks that get created where that specific crowd loan, which has the largest amount of KSM wins, are the ones that count 100%. So those 2 days count 100%. All the winning blocks of a specific Parachain auction, of a specific project, count 100% in the first 2 days and then linearly drop over the next 5 days. Okay, so do you have any questions on that before I move on?
That's an incentive for people to get in early.
Exactly. But let me explain you what I mean when we say linearly drop.
Let me make sure I got all this right. So these projects that are being launched on the Kusama block ecosystem, they have to have auctions because there's only 100 slots on the Parachains, only 100 Parachains available on the main blockchain for Kusama, and we explained this in the first video. So they're competing in the auctions, and how they compete in the auctions is by the number of Kusama coins or tokens that are locked into that particular project's auction smart contract. And on Kusama, it's for 48 weeks, no more, no less. So, and depending upon how many coins that you put in, Kusama coins that you put in, will determine how many of the project coins you're going to get, and how
Exactly.
well that sale, that auction is going to go. And the coins that you put in earlier, they have more purchasing power. Although you never lose the coins, they're just locked in
Exactly.
the smart contract. And when that ends, get them back.
Yeah. And they don't get locked in a smart contract, interestingly enough. They're actually still in your wallet. You just don't have access. They're frozen because there are no smart contracts. Well, now there will be smart contracts on Polkadot because of a project building them, but till now there weren't any. So they actually get locked up in a frozen state in your wallet. You can still see them if you look at that specific project. If they won the Parachain, you can see them. If they didn't win the Parachain, you can still see them if these if these Parachain auctions are ongoing. Right. So yeah, I mean, it gets super complex here. So let me try and continue on here with the Parachain auction. Right. I was saying to you, the first 2 days are the most important, right? Because 100% of the blocks that are won count. So let's say Karura had 500,000 Kusama, like I said, Moon River had 200,000, Shaidan had 100,000. Because Karura had 500,000, Karura was guaranteed to win every single block on the first day, on the second day, on the third day, on the fourth, every single day, because there was nobody else who had more than Karura, nobody else, right? So it doesn't matter if the other one had 200,000 Kusama, which is a lot of money, because Karura was number one, he was winning every single block. You may think, well, this is not fair, Claudio. Well, it is what it is. This was the very first batch. There was a lot of hype for Karura, right? But nothing was stopping Moon River from getting to that same contribution. It just didn't happen, right? There were just not enough demand. However, when we get to the third day, I was saying we linearly drop. So what does that happen? Every single block that gets won by Karura on the third day does not mean that it's going to be the chosen winning block, okay? Because we linearly drop, which means that not 100% of those blocks from that third day are going to count towards a potential win. And here's where the beauty of the candle auction comes into play. The candle auction is the method in which it's automatically a specific block from within that 7-day segment is automatically selected as the winner. Okay, and when they're the winner, they upgrade to a Parachain automatically, right? At the end of the auction. However, nobody knows who the winner is until the end of the auction. That's the beauty of it. So when that auction ends on the 7th day, the winning block is chosen and it's announced. You know which winning block it is. It's usually one from the first 2 days. And then we see the upgrade, which usually takes around 30 minutes or 1 hour or so. So once they upgrade, then they have to go through a number of steps, right? Now we know they're a Parachain. You contributed your Kusama. They get locked up. You can see them there under the contribution section. They're in a frozen state. You cannot transfer them out for 48 weeks. However, now the beautiful part comes. You need to wait until, now that they become a Parachain, until they enable governance, until they remove the pseudo key, because you need to make sure that, they need to make sure that they're given the power to the community. So because in Kusama and Polkadot, we have governance, which means that you can vote on proposals. Using your Kusama, okay. Obviously, you don't have the Kusama anymore because it's locked up, okay. But normally, you can vote on governance, right? So in this case, because Karura won, you need Karura to vote on governance for Karura, right? So they need to enable that governance because the team have control now. The team, it's a centralized project. The team have control. They have the user key, the super user key. They can push whatever changes they want. So they need to make sure that they test everything. Okay, everything's working. We have stability. We have this and that. Now we're ready to say, okay, let's hand the power to the community, enable governance. So this is with the period where you need to wait. This could take a week, this could take 2 weeks. So after the auction is won, you need to wait maybe a month, maybe 2, sometimes quicker, for them to say, okay, we've enabled governance, we've tested the network stability, everything's okay. Now it's time to enable transfers. And when they enable transfers, they do the distribution. They send you the Karura that you need, and then that you're entitled to based on your contribution, your initial contribution in that crowd loan. And then they usually list on exchanges, okay? So let me talk about the distribution first before I talk about the exchanges. Now, different projects have different methods. So Karura, what they decided to do is they said, okay, we're giving you 19.9 KOR tokens for each 1 KSM you contributed. However, this 19.95 are not 100% available to you from the time we enable transfers. Only 30% are unlocked, and you can sell them when we list on exchanges. The remaining 70% are vested from the moment that we won the Parachain auction up until the moment that the lease ends, which is in 48 weeks' time. So that means that because we had to wait about a month between the moment they won the Parachain auction and the moment they enabled transfers, we had a little bit more of an unlock, because with each passing block, we get a small fraction of Karura unlocked to us from those 19.95. So you get the 30% plus the small fraction up to that point. And then we continue to get it. We need to manually claim it, but we continue to get it up until the end of that lease, which is due on the 13th of May 2022. Okay, they started in June 2021 and they're due to end in May 2022. Okay, so now let me talk about the interesting part. Why do these projects are so desperate to build on Kusama and Polkadot? Well, because they also get free listings. We all know, Rich, I'm sure you know too, projects that you've been working with who are struggling to get listed on larger exchanges like KuCoin or like on Kraken. It used to be super difficult to get listed on Kraken, right? And you had to pay a large fee, right? But now Kraken, KuCoin, Gate, and MEXC exchange, 4 exchanges are supporting the Parachain auctions, which means not only can you contribute to the crowd loans using these exchanges, but they're actually going to list the Parachain auction winners for free. So you're guaranteed to see a listing. And this is where the value comes into play, because Karura has been doing extremely well when they got listed on Kraken, on KuCoin, and on all these other exchanges. And they were trading, because they listed on the worst possible day, it was like $4, which was still good ROI on your return, right? But it went to over $9 over a month later when the market started going bullish. So it just shows that a huge return on your investment. You still have that Kusama there, you're going to get that back, and now you've got these free tokens which you could sell the 30-something%, right, for a good profit, and then you can reinvest that in Kusama and contribute to more crowd loans and so on. And this is how you can maximize your profit. This is a different strategy, right, if you wish to go this way. So this is why I really like this idea.
What's the ticker symbol for Karura?
KAOR.
KAOR. Okay.
Yes.
And all right, because I want to check that out and have a look.
Yeah.
And so Karura's done one. Sorry, please carry on.
Yes. So I was talking about the Parachain auctions. Now what Kusama are doing to check network stability to make sure things are okay is they're actually conducting them in batches. So each batch lasts 1 month, and then they're taking a break to test the network to make sure things are okay, right? Check all the technicals, the graphs, etc., for about 2 months before they kick off the second batch. Now the second batch is on, right? The second batch has already started. Actually, on Wednesday this week, that's when we kicked it off. So it's running for the full month of September. Now, when they initially started, they were running for 5 Parachain auctions at a time. Okay, now with the second batch, they're doing the same, 5 Parachain auctions at a time. So basically, the second one was the second largest, which was Moon River, which I was telling you had over 200,000 contributed, and nobody else could catch up to it in the meantime, because remember, you can still contribute while these auctions are running, which means that there's nothing stopping the third one or the fourth one in terms of bag size to surpass the previous one, right? It's just that there wasn't enough demand, right? Everyone wanted into Moon River. And Moon River has turned out to become the most profitable. I've been discussing this on my channel. It has surpassed everything else, and people are absolutely shocked because of that. Basically, we made a calculation at the peak of the price. It ended up being valued as if you had Kusama at $2,500, and Kusama was only trading at $180 at the time. So just imagine a 2-month wait gave you turned a $180 Kusama into $2,500 while you still have your Kusama locked up due to get in May. What more can you ask for? What more can you ask for?
What sort of project is Moon River?
So they're bringing smart contracts from Ethereum over to Kusama. They're playing a pivotal role. But one of the main reasons why they really pumped in price and people did not foresee that is first, the low supply, 10 million total supply, 1.5 million supply in circulation. And now the third most important, which I was surprisingly shocked, because now it opened my eyes to many things as to how important it is to pay attention to private investors, seed investors, and VCs investing in a specific project and getting an unlock early, because they could really dump the price, and that explains why we're seeing all those dumps in price every time we had a listing. Moon River had no team tokens, no private investors, nothing. This is a canary network only for the community. 30% of the total supply was allocated to the crowd loans. Imagine. This is amazing, right? And it just shows you. But they did exactly the same as Karura. They unlocked 30% to you, and the rest are vested. So at the time of listing, we had 43.5% unlocked to us. 30% was directly transferred to our wallets, and we had to manually claim the remaining 14.3%. So, I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. It's the price has been doing really well, and people are super hyped, not to mention the staking rewards. The staking rewards, like the highest APY that we had was around 90%. That has gradually dropped as more demand has has been, there for Moonriver, people wanting to buy off the market, of the exchange, people that have missed out on this crowd loan. So this opened my eyes on the potential, right? Okay, if now we know that this has done really well because we had no private investors, a lot allocated to the community, then what's to say that we should not target future crowd loans that have a similar structure? And this is why we can talk about the next one, which is Calamari, which is due to hopefully win the second one because they've got the second largest contribution from the second batch of the crowd loans. And we know you like privacy coins on your channel, Rich. So I think that your community is going to be hyped about Calamari, which are using the ZK Snarks, I believe it's called. Yeah. Which is similar to Monero, right? And it's all about making...
No. You're not going to get that past me. Monero uses ring signatures.
Ring signatures.
Parachain uses ZK Snarks.
Parachain uses it.
Which is a superior privacy technology.
Okay, so that explains why they're using ZK Snarks then. Yeah. Okay, because it's the latest privacy technology, right?
I don't know if it's the latest, but it's superior. I think you might be right.
But anyway, that's not one of the most bullish things. And that's one of the things that people like, right? Privacy, because they're going to make transactions on Kusama private. That's the idea of Calamari, right? But aside from that, they're following a similar structure to Moonriver. Now, if we ignore the total supply, which is much higher, if we were to compare how much you're going to get for contributing 1 KSM, is the equivalent of 10 Moonriver for each 1 KSM. Whereas with Moonriver, it was 14 Moonriver for each 1 KSM. So there is a little bit of a gap there, but there's no team tokens. Up to 30% goes to the community, and there will be some that will be generated from the staking rewards. So no private investors, once again, no team tokens, all goes to the community. The rest goes to the treasury. And the treasury cannot just sell, right? They use that for funding, for example, for marketing activities, for dev activities, for contributions from the community towards the project. They can pay you that. So that doesn't all go into circulation. It gets stuck in the treasury fund. So because of all of this, you're thinking, okay, Claudio, wait a second. So if there's no team tokens, how are these projects, how can they continue development if there's no funding? Well, here's the beauty of it. Remember I was telling you about Kusama and Polkadot. Well, Kusama is the canary network. Well, these are the canary networks of the main networks. The main networks is, well, the VCs, the private investors, the public investors, etc., have all invested in. So all the big investment, Binance, Coinbase, etc., have invested in a lot of these projects, in the main ones, but not in the canary ones. So that's why we're seeing the value in the canary ones, and that's why Kusama has been doing so well.
Right. Okay. So Kusama's got a lot of investment into it. That has people that.
No, not Kusama. Polkadot has the investment. Exactly.
Polkadot has a lot of investment in it. So what about the projects like Calamari? How is that being run?
So that's going to run on Kusama, but there's another project called Manta Network. That's the main network. That's going to be the privacy network of Polkadot, making transactions private on Polkadot, run by the same team. And they've got the investments over at Manta Network. So you have to be careful. I'm not trying to further anything, but you have to be careful with the ones on Polkadot because they do have private investors. However, they will have vested tokens as well. So they cannot just dump on the market straight away, but they will get unlocks. So we could expect a similar action with ICOs, like we've seen with ICOs, right? Yeah. It's not going to be as dirty as some of those ICOs because some of them had side deals, right? It's going to be cleaner, but we could expect dumping to happen on Polkadot. I'm not saying that. There is a risk. And this is why I like the canary networks a lot more, because we need the canary networks. They need to test. They need to have a testing ground before they could say, okay, we're ready to go to Manta Network. We've tested this on Calamari. We're good to go. Let's push this upgrade to Manta Network. So that's the beauty of it. Calamari is always going to coexist because they need to provide those privacy transactions for Kusama.
Okay, so you got Calamari providing privacy transactions. You've got the Moonriver with the smart contract functionality.
Yep.
And what does Carrera do?
DeFi. You can get crypto loans. You can do swaps. You can do farming, liquidity mining, stuff like that.
Okay. And what else is coming down the line on the Kusama ecosystem?
Yeah. So another one that has launched now recently was Shiden Network, which are competing with Moonriver, but they're about cross chain. But I'm telling you one issue that they've had, and this just goes back to show how important it is not to have team tokens, private investors, etc. And you may be asking, well, Claudio, you just said canary networks don't get private investors, but it all depends, right? I'm not saying they can't get private investors, but they can get airdrops. This is another risk that you have to keep in mind because people can get airdrops on the canary networks. So what actually happened with Shiden and what actually hurt the price initially, now it's doing well because it's pumping again. But basically what happened is their main network token held an Ethereum lock drop event back in 2020, So you had to lock up because I believe DOT was fresh back then and they didn't want to have a DOT lock drop event. I don't think the functionality was possible at the time. So they created an Ethereum lock drop event of the equivalent price. So they would you'd lock your Ethereum for a specific set of time, up to you, and you would be guaranteed to get the Plasm token. Now they've rebranded to Astar Network, so the Astar token. So let's say you're guaranteed to get the Astar token. Okay, we didn't know how many you would get, but we knew you'd get them, right? We didn't know what the supply was. But now, as a surprise, all those people that have locked their ETH and they're going to get the Astar token also got airdropped Shided Network tokens for free. 21 million were airdropped. So they went into circulation. And unfortunately, those people that took part in the crowd loans have not received any initial unlock, only a linear vested unlock. So basically, with each passing block, you get a small unlock over the whole lease. So we're talking about 5 or 6%, right? Maybe 10% since they won the Parachain auction. So that actually hurt people. But now the price has been going back up again. So it's just something to keep in mind. Be very wary and very careful of airdrops. We usually know in advance about that, right? So that just shows you we're learning every day. You can't know everything in advance. But now seeing the historical action of all these, we need to keep in mind when we have no team tokens, when we have no airdrops, when we have no VCs, then we are actually in a good position to say, okay, this has a really good potential to do well. So I'm going to be pushing my Kusama into this.
Very good. Very good. Okay.
And hopefully your viewers can learn from this information as well.
Yes. And if they want to find out more, they can follow all this on your channel. And if they're interested, excuse me, they can check it out, the different Kusama projects. Is there a place they can go to find out about the Kusama projects? Like one website that lists them? And also, what wallet can they use to store the Kusama
Absolutely.
assets, Polkadot assets?
Absolutely. I recommend Polka Project. Polka Project is a good website for checking projects that are developing on Polkadot and Kusama ecosystems. But do be wary that some of those projects, because it is an open source website, there are projects that fakely say that they are building on Kusama and Polkadot, but they're not really, right? So there is a tab there called Substrate tab. So make sure you select the Substrate tab to only show you projects that are on Substrate, because that is the framework where Polkadot is building on, not only on Ethereum, because there are some that are developing on Ethereum saying, we promise we're going to develop on Polkadot in 1 year time, but they never do, right? They create this ERC20 token, they try to ride the Polkadot hype, they try to sell it to you, they never deliver, and then they run away and maybe even rug pull. So be very careful of that. Make sure you select the Substrate based tab. And one wallet that I strongly recommend everyone to use is Polkadot.js wallet. Is the official web wallet of Polkadot. It is complex, especially when it comes to staking. I have done various tutorials on my channel showing you how you can stake, also how you can contribute to these crowd loans using this wallet. Although I don't recommend using the wallet, I recommend you installing the wallet, but not using the wallet when you contribute to the crowd loans, because you should use the websites. Now, why do I say use the websites directly from the project? Because you get a referral bonus and maybe even an early bird bonus. And these are very, very important because obviously you can maximize your profit this way.
Right. Now, by using the websites, you mean the project websites to lock?
Exactly. So ahead of time, each project that's going to participate in a crowd loan will create a specific website where specifically for the crowd loan, where you can simply choose the amount of Kusama you want to contribute to. It tells you how many, you can enter the referral code bonus. Say, for example, Rich would have contributed. He generated a referral link. He would share that with you, the community. And then you click on that link. It adds the referral link from Rich's account. You get a 2.5% bonus. Say if you use Calamari, Rich gets 2.5% of your contribution, right? That's how it works. And maybe an early bird bonus if there is one available. You simply click contribute. It connects to your Polkadot wallet. You just simply sign the transaction with your password and you're done. You're locked up. Now, if they win, then you're going to get the tokens distributed directly to your wallet. However, you do need to use Polkadot.js, the official web wallet, to see your tokens there, the Calamari tokens in the case of Calamari. And I have done a dedicated tutorial explaining to you how to use Polkadot.js in detail. So I do recommend that you check that out on my channel. If you just search for Polkadot web wallet tutorial, I have a 2021 version.
Very good. And just to remind people that the Kusama stays in your wallet in a frozen locked state.
Exactly.
I'm going to go put it in another website. I still have
nobody can spend it. The team cannot spend it.
Yeah, you still have the private keys. I still have the private keys.
Exactly. So if a project goes south, and in south in the sense that the price doesn't do well because they're usually not going to run away, right? A lot of these are really, really solid projects. The teams actually have to basically show their faces because nobody's going to contribute to something anonymous, right? At least not on Kusama. It's just not the way things work. People need to advertise their crowd loans as nobody's going to contribute, right? And others are going to win. So it's enforcing competition. And this is why I really like Kusama. It's enforcing people to come out and show what they've got to bring to the table. And this is why I'm so bullish on this ecosystem, and I think it's here to stay. And of course, they've got competitors, and I'm not saying competitors, but more like we've got these ecosystems building on the side, like Cosmos, which are also building an ecosystem of interoperability. And there's actually a bridge, I forget the name right now, apologies for this, but there's a bridge that Polkadot are working on to bridge Cosmos to Polkadot. So eventually we're going to see the dApps on Cosmos, on Polkadot, and vice versa. So that's awesome. It's just all about connecting, right, at the end of the day.
You know, that's very, very good. Thank you so much for that. And if you don't win the auction, what happens to the locked coins?
That's a very good question. So like I was saying, we've got the batches of 5 auctions. At the end of this batch, if any of the projects you contributed to did not win, you get your Kusama back straight after that batch. So then you can use those Kusama to do whatever you want, be it to contribute to another crowd loan, etc. Now, there are some projects, now that you said that, it's interesting. There are some projects that are very, very kind. I don't know why they decide to do that. They decide to simply say, okay, these guys have locked their Kusama since the beginning, maybe, or maybe later on throughout the batch. For us, and they've missed out on another game. So in the meantime, even though we didn't win, we've decided to reward you with the same amount of tokens as if we had won, because they were already trading, right? They were already trading. In the case of a project called Robonomics, they actually did that. They distributed to the community like their token was worth like $10, so they gave people like $35 worth of their token for free for each one KSM contributed, only because they had that Kusama locked up for that period of time.
Very good, very good. Well, that works because that wins fans. That sort of
for sure, for sure.
Yeah. Anything else you want to let us know about this?
No, I think I've covered everything. I hope you've learned more about Kusama and Polkadot, and maybe if you are interested in this ecosystem, do check out the videos that I've been putting out every single day on my channel, trying to explain how things work with Polkadot and Kusama, trying to educate people as much as possible, and hopefully you can come join and take part in this awesome ecosystem.
Yes, no, thank you, and I will have the links to your channel, and I'm going to have your affiliate link in the description below. And the only reason for that is because I'm trying to stay focused and not get lost in all these different ecosystems. Although I am interested in this. Go get myself a little bit of Kusama and lock it away, because
for calamari,
for calamari for sure, right? Who doesn't
privacy?
Who doesn't want some free crypto? So some free private crypto, or any private crypto. Claudia, listen, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. Anybody who's watching, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the description below. Let me know. Do you hold any Kusama or Polkadot? Have you participated in any of these? And between now and when I see you next, please keep filling your pockets with crypto profits. This is Crypto Rich and Crypto Claudio signing out. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.